everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Allison from the East Hampton Library. I have Tracie with us from StonyBrook, Southampton, and she is going to do some cancer care exercises with us. If you have any questions, put them in the Q&A or the chat, and myself or Tracie will try and monitor it for you. But I think that covers it. Tracie, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much, Allison. And thank you, East Hampton Library, for hosting us for 6 weeks. So appreciative of that. Hi, everybody. Let me give you a quick intro. My name is Tracie Sullivan, as Allison said. I am a cancer exercise specialist. I am a functional aging specialist. I'm qualified in youth exercise programming. I have been training clients in Long Island on the East End since 2006. I'm a private trainer for the medical team at StonyBrook Southampton Hospital. So you're in good hands today. If you've been with me before, thank you for joining us again. And if you were with us last week, our first session, thank you so much for clicking back in. I appreciate your time and the time we're putting into ourselves. The StonyBrook Hospital Wellness Department and I worked very closely with the physical therapy department to develop this program, Fit and Strong. And that's why we're here today. Fit and Strong is an exercise program designed to stimulate the flow of lymphatic fluid throughout the body. So let's talk about it just a little bit, if you don't mind. So take a seat, be comfortable. I'll do the same. Our bodies are comprised of many systems. Our skeletal system is our framework of bones and connective tissue. The muscular system permits movements to that framework. The neurological system transmits that signal from the brain to allow all that to happen. We have the respiratory components, the vascular system, circulatory system regulates our blood flow. Let me think what else. We have the reproductive system, digestive system, there's, of course, and the immune system. The immune system is our body's natural defense against disease, viruses, bacteria, infection. And our lymphatic system plays a key role in supporting that immune system. The lymphatic system is made up of a series of vessels throughout the body that are connected by a series of lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are sometimes in small groupings, sometimes they're in large bundles, and they're strategically placed throughout the body. The lymphatic system, white blood cells, infection-fighting cells, and seeks out those contaminants in the body, cellular waste, cancer cells, bacteria, infection. It traps those cells and transports it through the vessels and deposits it into the nearest lymph node. So Allison, if you can put that description, that little diagram up, I can have a visual for everyone to see exactly.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Let me share my screen, and can you see that okay, Tracie?
I can. Fantastic. Thank you
right.
so much. So as we can see here, the lymph vessels, they travel down the side of our neck, come across the collarbone, across the shoulder into the axilla, under the armpits. There's vessels that travel through the midsection and trunk of the body. Some of the lymph nodes are, you can see somewhat more in the groin, they're larger bundles. So the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. The blood flow is regulated by a heartbeat. Our lymphatic system. So the whole point of exercise and muscular contraction combined together will help stimulate the flow and hopefully improve the flow of any kind of lymphatic fluid that may be disrupted in its path. Now, the flow of lymphatic fluid can be interrupted through injury to the system, through surgery. Scarring can block that path. Lymph node removal or dissection in the case of a cancer diagnosis will interrupt that path. As the fluid travels through the body, it'll come to that nearest lymph node and essentially hit its dead end. So through exercise, we try to encourage it to find a different path, to continue its position and continue its job throughout the body. So lymphatic fluid transports these cells, cancer cells, infection, bacteria, like I said before, cellular waste, deposits it into the nearest lymph node, and that fluid then continues to filter through the lymph node and travel through the rest of the body. So we want to encourage that flow so it has that complete pattern throughout the body. We can remove that diagram now, unless anybody has questions about it. Okay, no worries, no worries. Yeah, Allison, if you don't mind taking that back down, thank you.
You got it.
So yeah, so if you notice through the diagram, a lot of those lymph nodes that I mentioned are strategically placed. They're placed in areas where muscular contraction in our everyday life, sitting, standing, walking. I use the example of rolling over in bed even requires muscular contraction. And of course, another form of muscular contraction is exercise. So our exercises today are specifically designed to help encourage that flow, encourage that muscular pump to the lymphatic system. As I mentioned earlier, there's lymphatics bundles in the axilla under the armpit. So we do a lot of shoulder rolls, side raises to help encourage that pump. There are the lymphatics throughout the neck, across the collarbone and subclavicular, a lot of head turns, and then the larger bundles in the groin. We have a lot of hip hinge and forward flexion in the hip socket. We also have bundles of lymph nodes in the crease of our elbow, behind our knees, and of course through the midsection. So as we know, muscular contraction is when the muscles can tighten under tension from an outside force, and then the muscles release. So there's different phases of muscular tension and muscular contraction and muscle load. So let's discuss that really quickly. So when we move through the program, it may make more sense as we travel through. So when the muscle shortens under tension from an outside force, it's known as a concentric phase of muscle load. So when the muscle load, for example, here's my arm, you do a bicep curl, the bicep muscle shortens under tension. Now the weight of my arm right here is the weight and the external force creating that resulting shortening the muscle and muscle load. The opposing muscle group, the triceps, now lengthen as the biceps shortens. Opposing muscle groups work well together. They keep the body uniform. We work with that throughout this program. So when the muscle shortens under tension, it's a concentric phase of load. And then as you release that elbow flexion or that elbow bend and open the joints, the muscle then lengthens under tension, still with the weight of just the weight of my arm. So that lengthening of muscle tension and the relaxation in the muscle is the eccentric phase of muscle load. And then of course we have the icentric phase of muscle load, which is specifically a hold. Simply taking your arms overhead, you're in an isometric hold. Programs like yoga-based programs have used isometric hold as part of their strength training and their programming. So today we're going to encourage muscular contraction. We're going to encourage the pump throughout the body, specifically in our joints. Since we've been seated a while though, as I mentioned earlier, that lymphatic flow is happening as we're seated. Some of that lymphatic fluid can pool into the torso of our body, into the trunk. And while we're seated here, maybe our core is holding us up and stabilizing us. There's not much contraction happening. So let's do a deep belly breath. So if there is any pooling of fluid in our torso, especially if we are compromised in our torso from surgery or incisions or treatments for cancer, removals of organs and tissue, that flow is interrupted. So let's disperse the torso, okay? Disperse the trunk of the body, let that fluid push through, encourage that flow. So any kind of exercise program we do that can drain fluid, it will all travel back through the bloodstream, into the circulatory stream, back through our heart, and come back to the torso. So we essentially have to give it a place to travel to. And then essentially we have to make room for it to fit. So if you're familiar with a deep diaphragmatic breath, you may just go along as you like. If you're unsure about it, if it's your first time, if you've never even heard of it, a deep belly breath, again, is to encourage the abdominal wall to contract and expand, to have the diaphragm flatten and expand, have the lungs inflate and deflate, and again, move that fluid through the body. So before we start, I just want to ask really quickly if anybody plans to stay seated with us today. If you plan on staying seated with us today, please let me know. I do have a chair nearby that I will preview for you some of the modifications. Just let me know. And if not, I encourage you to stand. And if you have, of course, been prescribed a sleeve or a compression garment, absolutely wear that during movement and during our classes together in Fit and Strong, or any type of exercise programming that you may do other than this program. So let's have a deep belly breath together, shall we? Right, if you're with me, standing tall. I haven't seen any kind of interaction about anyone seated, so let's assume everyone's standing tall. So we want to have good posture to begin. Our feet should be shoulder width. Our kneecaps should be forward. Now our belly button should be directly under our collarbone, so your body is aligned. And your shoulders are back and down and relaxed. Now I'd like to have our chins lifted so the spine is neutral. And I'd like to have our body weight somewhat back so you feel that both heels under your feet. Okay? If you have a heart rate device or some sort of technology that you want to record your heart rates, absolutely start it now. But if you're familiar with the deep belly breath, we can place 2 hands on our bellies, anywhere that's comfortable for you. If it's new, as I mentioned, we can bring one hand to the chest and one hand on the belly, okay, lower abdomen. Now the hand on the chest is simply that marker that when we breathe in, if there's movement in this hand, our breath is coming here. We're breathing into the upper respiratory. The focus here is the deep belly. Okay, so we want to have the bottom hand feel the breath. As you breathe in, we will press the belly out and you will hug yourself back. Okay, so one hand on the chest if you're new to this. One hand to the belly. Let's take maybe a nice, deep, slow inhale through the nostrils. Push the belly out and relax. Exhale and let the hand on the bottom of your abdomen return back to neutral. Good. Let's try it again. You really want to encourage the pushing of the abdomen forward. Now, if this hand is moving, I'll go profile so you can see. And pay attention to this breath and really, keep breathing along as I've discussed. Pay attention to the sensation of the breath. It should be smooth. It should be lifting as you breathe in, filling the body. And the exhale should be a settling sensation. And it should be comfortable. And in fact, it should flow one breath into the next. There should be no beginning and no end. It should be like a lifting and an exhaling. Well done. All right, so let's stimulate those bundles of lymphatics that we have in the large groupings, okay? We'll do a manual massage. So as you notice in the diagram, if you didn't notice, we have the large vessels through the neck and the bundles behind the ear. So you can split your fingers, place 2 fingers in front, 2 fingers behind, and your thumb is loose. And we want to have a circular pattern, looks like this, circular pattern against the skin, just on the surface of the skin. Now there's no pressure involved in this. The pressure is simply sliding your fingers across the skin, creating a skin stretch or a skin glide. Yeah, let's do 3 or 5 of them. If you like even numbers, do 4. And then from here, fingertips, all 3 or 4 fingertips slide down and across the collarbone. If you can recall from that diagram, we're encouraging. Look how lightly my fingers are just gliding across the surface of my skin. And as I mentioned earlier, we're just encouraging that flow in the path of the lymphatic vessel. That's the way. Now we'll get into that axilla. So just cup your palm I like to encourage one hand at a time. Just cup the armpit, opposite arm can be comfortable. Little circles, just little circles. Again, you're taking the stretch against the surface of the skin. Little pumping action, preparing the body, preparing, that's it. Yeah, I'll get the other side. Now, some of us may have areas, maybe we've had axillary lymph node dissection. So you may need to encourage this, maybe do a few more rounds of repetitions of massage on your affected side. If you have an affected side, let's do it again. You may notice one side is tighter than the other from scar tissue. Yeah, never force a stretch, everybody, just gently massage. That's the way. And I'll stand again to preview the inguinal lymph nodes, which are in your groin. If you have pockets, you can find that crease where your knee lifts. I'll take my hands outside my pocket so you can see. And again, right here in the crease, little circles. And we encourage the flow back to the torso. That's the way. Nicely done. Okay, so I'm going to check in right now with everybody. I'm a big fan of checking in. If you have any questions, speak up now. If you have any concerns, more importantly, speak up now. Otherwise, I will, Allison's going to keep an eye on the chat box, so feel free to reach out if I'm in session. Please have proper shoes on, something with a non-slip sole, not too tight in the laces. Something in an area, please have a space that you can move. If you have a water bottle nearby, please make sure that it's out of the way. Area rugs may slip and slide. If you're on a yoga mat, please, you don't need that. You can move that out of the way. I just want to have a safe place to move. If you need chair modifications, maybe you start standing with me, let me know, shout it out, and I'll just pull the chair over and preview the moves. Everything we do today is low impact, okay? Again, and has purpose. Everything we do today is to stimulate the flow of lymphatic fluid and promote the health of our immune system. So I always begin with the cervical region of the body. We do a cardio component. We hit the upper extremities, our arms and limbs. We do a cardio component. And then I hit the lower body, the larger muscles, and we finish with a cardio components. The upper body is a preview of the lymph drainage technique. And as we hit the lower body in the warm-up, it's a preview of the lymph drainage technique, and then we expand on that throughout. And if there was a question, let me just take a look here. Absolutely. The question asks, if there are no lymph nodes in left arm, should I still do armpit circulation in the arm? Absolutely. We encourage upper extremity, lower extremity, full body flow. So it's just, the lymphatic system travels in a loop, so to speak, a one-way path. So if there's a backup in one side of the arm or one area of the body, everything comes along and we help to flush it. We want to flush it. We want to encourage that movements. There was a time, who can see this transcript? I'm not quite sure who can see the transcripts. Maybe we can follow up with that after the class. I'm not sure if the transcript will be made available or not. Okay. Yeah, I don't have an answer for that, unfortunately, right now, but we'll find out for you. So yes, in the past, it was decided if you were compromised in your lymphatics in the upper extremity or in the head and neck, it was encouraged to just perform those exercises. Or if you're compromised in your lymphatics in the lower body, your limbs, your legs, your lower extremities, it was encouraged just to do simply lower extremity. But now science and logic has come to terms, reasoning, that we want to stimulate the whole body. We want to stimulate the entire system. We want to regulate the flow throughout the whole body. So yes, if you are compromised in one area, absolutely join in, okay? Again, remember, remember, the objective exercise is to encourage a different path. All right, so if there is blockage or interruption in that flow, that stimulation can encourage that fluid to travel a different way and reduce that buildup and backup. All right, so let's hit the cervical. Everybody stand tall with me if you haven't already. Shoulders should be relaxed. And I want to have us lift our collarbones slightly, just to have a little bit more of a tall sensation in our posture. So we'll take our face to the right side. Now take your chin over the shoulder till you feel a stretch in the back side of your neck. Now we want to be careful here not to drop the chin to the shoulder. We want to keep it above the shoulder about 2 inches. Eye gaze to the side wall. Now let's take our left shoulder and press it towards the floor. Yeah, breathe easy, everybody. Okay, look to me. Spine to neutral, and we're going to look to the left side. So take your eyes, take your chin towards the shoulder, but again, you want that space between your chin and shoulder. Don't connect, because a big part of this program is breath. Opposite shoulder towards the floor to help encourage and release any tightness we may have in our neck. Yeah, look to me, spine back to neutral. Everybody, 2 big shrugs, 2 big rolls, 2 shoulders at a time. Bend the elbow, so it's up and down, up and down. Now 2 big rolls, up, back, and down. Good, up, back, and down. Let's try that again now, left side lead. So turn your face to the left, take your eye gaze, and pause. When you feel the stretch activate, you pause. We never force a stretch. Opposite shoulder down. And then take a moment, look to me, take your eye gaze forward. We want to be steady and balanced. Okay, so eye gaze is a key component. Switching to the other side. If your lymphatics are compromised in your neck, this is a great way to get that muscular contraction with their cervical rotation. Good, 2 big shrugs, up and down, up and down. 2 big rolls, bend the elbows, up, back, and down. And again, when I say back, I mean pull the shoulders back with it. Well done. Let's hit our cardio components. It's 8 marches on the spot and 2 step taps. Stay with me here. Right foot leads like this, 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and step tap, once and twice. Good, right side lead, 8 marches. Now we want to keep our feet about shoulder width. You see my feet. You don't want to clench your hands. Step tap, like a little dance. 8 marches. You can pump your arms if that's comfortable. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Step tap. The tap is light, everybody. One more time. 8 and 7 and 6 and 5. Chin is up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Step tap and step tap. Good. Checking in with yourself. Checking in with the rest of the breathing process. We should notice we're working. Okay, then you're doing it right. It's just a warm up, everybody. Standing tall, upper extremity limb drainage technique. Here's your preview. Right side, lift wide. How high can we come? We're going to try to reach that full range, which is completely overhead. 180 degrees, slowly lower down. That's the way. I'm going to take our left side wide. This is a side raise and exercise programming. This is a full range of motion, fingertips to the ceiling. That's the way. Now the descent, lowering the limb, is just as important as the lift. Now 2 together, inhaling. Extended mountain pose, hands come overhead. Right here, pause. Squeeze your fists. Turn your palms to me. Pull the elbows down and wide. Stretch your chest. Back up, everybody. And right here, palms face each other, exhale down. And here we go. Let's switch to the left side. So left side, single arm. Now, as I said, this is a side raise, a full range side raise, and exercise programming, exercise language. In clinical terms, this is an abduction. So take the right arm into abduction. That's it. Depending on your range of motion, you may pause here, listen to your body. Notice what's happening in the upper back. Notice what's happening in the muscular contraction in the shoulders, 2 hands together, inhaling. This is an extended mountain pose. That's it. Squeeze your fist once, now squeeze them twice. Turn the palms to me, palm flip. Activates the muscles in the forearm. Good. Supination, pronation. And a big breath out. Ah. How are we doing? All right, let's do 2 more, okay? Right side lifting. Now look at my shoulder here. My shoulder's not shrugging or lifting with it. Okay, we want to maintain shoulders stable and parallel. When I say parallel, I mean equal to the floor, okay? Coming up on the left side. Imagine the exhale pump we're preparing here. Well done. Take your time. 2 hands together. As we come overhead, now we're going to add 1 more fist pump. So give me 3, 2, 1. Arms pull down, palms face forward. This is a lat pull down. So shoulder blades behind, squeeze the spine. You want that scapular retraction? Come on down. Ah, good job, guys. Good job. Are we noticing a sensation of warming throughout the shoulder? Are we noticing a sensation of warmth throughout the lower back? Yeah, that warming sensation. Back in the day, they used to say, feel the burn. We don't say that anymore. That's just blood flow, everybody. That means you're doing it right. Those muscles are calling on the heart to arms together. Now we have 4 fist squeezes overhead, right here. 4, pump those hands. Pump that forearm. Good, palms to me. Lat pull down, pull the elbows wide. Lift your collarbones, lift your heart. Bring it back up, inhale. And right here, everybody exhale. Ah. Upper extremity lymph drainage technique. Good job, bend the elbows, let's just roll it out. So as I mentioned, the muscles are calling on the heart for blood flow and oxygen as we use them. Good job. Left side, 8 marches, 8 and 7 and 6, stand tall, 5, 4. We're not banging our feet, okay? Step tap, once and twice. Good, left side, 8 and 7 and 6. Now we want to relax our hands. We want to relax our shoulders and keep your chin lifted. Good, step tap once and twice. 2 more rounds, okay? Now this is our second set of cardio. You may notice a little more winded sensation. Good, 2 step taps. Good, 1 more round, 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4. So we're getting the crease in that groin here. That's it. We're getting a little knee bend in the march. All right, let's hit lower extremity. Lymph technique, lymph drainage technique, just checking in. Everybody, hands on hips, just for something to hold on to. Shift your weight to your left foot, right toe down. Roll your kneecap in little circles towards the right. Now that toe on the floor, imagine it's on a sheet of ice. Don't jam it. It's nice and light and it glides. And shift your weight. Toe down. Hip circles. Now imagine your skeletal system, what's happening in your groin and those large bundles of lymph nodes, right? Yeah. Roll it again. It feels really good. Sometimes the treatment for cancer results in neuropathy and the soles of our feet, throughout our feet. It's a great way to establish that mind-body connection once again. Okay, so we'll hit the lower extremity lymph drainage technique preview because we're still in our warm-up. So hands on the hips, everybody, standing tall, relax your shoulders, right foot lifts, kneecap forward, little pony, switch your weight. For profile, it looks like this. Okay, shoelaces forward. Getting a little deeper knee bend. Building ankle strengthening. Good. Look here, heel to the front, toe to the back. Switch, heel to the front, toe to the back. Do it again. From profile, it looks like this, heel. It's not a big stride. It's not a long stride. Good. Land under your shoulders, come into a little crouch. Shoulders are down. Good. Push through the heels, come up, open the heart. Open the chest. Good. 4 ponies. How do we do? Again, shoulder width with my feet. If we come too narrow with our foot position, we can have that little topple effect. We don't want that. Right foot, heel toe, right here. Heel to the front, toe to the back. Shift your weight. Heel to the front. Now pull the toes up strongly. Shoulder width. Crouch, belly up. Push through the heels. Open the heart. Good. 4 ponies, left side lead. And 3. Profile, remember, standing tall. And 1. Good. Left side lead, so heel and toe and switch. Heel and toe. Come to this crouch. I call it a crouch. Lower body technically in a mid squat. Come on up, stretch that chest open. Big breath. Now this little crouch technique is functional. I like to remind you of that. That's the way. Yeah, heel toe left. How do you tip over to lower the dishwasher? In a crouch. How do you tip over the sink? Brush your teeth. In a crouch. Like this. Yes. Push through the heels. That's your bending, lifting technique. Well done. 8 marches, right side lead, last round. And 7, and 6, and 5. Now don't bang your feet, please. 2. Step tap is next, remember? Good job. Right side again. And 7. I like to encourage you to have a visual. Imagine the floor is full of eggshells. Don't break it. Nice and light. Nice and light. Good. We're switching to left side lead. 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Switch sides. That's the way. Left side. 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3. Chin is up. 2, and 1. Step tap. That's the way. Good job, everybody. Check in once again. Check your device if you have one. Maybe your heart rate is slightly elevated. Okay, we keep our heart rate target zone in this programming compliant with the American Heart Association recommendations for cancer survivors in that 30 to 40% range. We never go higher than that. Check in with yourself throughout your body. You should feel warming throughout, completely stimulated. We hit the larger muscles. We hit the big joints. Checking in on questions. I think we're moving right along. Everybody doing okay? All right, so let's hit the upper extremity lymph drainage programming. All right, so as we did earlier, we have the side raise, abduction. When we come to the top, we're going to squeeze our fist for that pumping sensation. We'll add 1 repetition every time we move through the sets. Again, resulting in the longer we're in the posture, the more the muscles in that isometric hold have to activate. Does that make sense? Okay. If your range of motion is here, your range of motion is here. We never force, okay? It's an active stretch on your part. You control your range. I just want to encourage you to notice if you feel any tightening in the neck when we come here, you're pulling the shoulder with it. Okay, we want to keep our shoulders down and relaxed, let this movement happen in the limb. That's why I wear black against the white background, so you can see my shoulders. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, as we come out into the lat pull down, I want to preview side profile. Look at my elbows. They're right next to my body. We don't want to come here. We don't want to encourage this posture. Look at my shoulder socket. Okay, we want to control. You pull down. Wide is the sensation, not behind. Okay, we don't want to torque our shoulder. As I mentioned earlier, if you've had surgery across your chest, one side may be tighter than the other. You may feel limited range of motion from scarring. Okay, so don't ever force a stretch. You go where your shoulder will allow. Okay, let me try to think what else did I want to preview. Oh, we're going to add a bicep curl here at the end of the set. Okay, so let's do this together. Now, if you do have decided that you had enough and you want to be seated, if you are seated, please have your back off the chair and your knee position should be shoulder width to position your body evenly on 2 sit bones. Okay, sometimes when we sit, we bring our feet narrow. We want to have that stable base seated, stable base standing. I think I explained enough. What do you think? We're going to do 2 arms together, everybody. So big breath in to extended mountain pose. Lift out of your waist Pause at the top, one squeeze. Turn your palms to me. Pull the elbows wide. Pause, bend that bicep curl. Good. Back out, inhale. And come on down. How do we go? Well done, come again. Big breath in, 2 hands together, overhead. Lift out of your waist. Now we have 2 fist squeezes. Relax your shoulders down. 2 squeezes, palms to me. Lat pull down. Now I'm gonna see goalpost here, so that's the way. Now 2 bicep curls. Once, get that elbow hump. And 2, good. Back on up, inhaling. And come on down. So the muscles are in the relaxed state. Good, come on in, 3. Right here, shoulders are down, chin is up, 3 fist squeezes. Now draw your belly in with the arms overhead. Palms to me. You want to support that lower back. Here we go, 3 bicep curls, 3 and 2. So now you may notice the shoulder and upper back engaging so much longer in duration. Big breath in to finish and come on down. Yeah, I'm gonna check in with you on rep 4, which is this set. Coming up, shoulders are down, check in with your neck, give me 4 fist pumps. And again, here we have the benefit of gravity helping to drain. Good, palms to me. The palm flip is a key component in this program. Bicep curl, good. Come on in and come on out. Well done, shake it out, roll it out, loosen it up. Yes, there we go. Okay, let's hit the lower extremity. Now we have the heel toe we did earlier. One thing I want to preview now that we have more focus is that your knee position in the supporting leg is over the shoelaces. Okay, when we shift our weights, the movement can travel this direction. We don't want our knee joint to travel this direction. Knee is a hinge, okay? It shouldn't bend in this direction. So when our body weights should be in our heel, and don't be afraid to look down that your kneecap is over your shoulder, your shoelaces, okay? I want to preview from that. Let me step back so you can see. So your knee position is over your shoelaces. We want to avoid the knee position too far forward, okay? We don't want to have that big knee bend this direction. We don't want to have a knee bend in this direction. In fact, just previewing to show you this right now does not feel good for my knee. So let's bring it in. We want to stack our bones, okay? Just checking. So our low extremity lymph drainage technique today, we have the 4 ponies, which we did earlier in the warm-up, okay? Encourages that calf control. Now, depending on your balance technique, you can hold on to your hips. We have a single leg, single knee lift, okay? It's basically half a walking stance or half of a march, all right? We want to get that knee flexion, okay, that hip flexion as you bring the knee forward. If you are stronger, if you have more confidence, if you've been with me some of you ladies have been with me for a few years in this program, you can absolutely take it to that knee drive, which is old school knee repeater, they would call that. Okay, that's a higher option if you're capable. I like to remind you, we land shoulder width. We land shoulder width. We want to be steady and stable in between every repetition. And then we add at the back end the same crouch technique, bending, lifting technique, which is a very big dip and that hip flexion. Here's your knee drive. Check out my skeleton. Imagine my skeleton with the knee drive, right? The flexion range. Now check out my flexion in the hips with the crouch. It's a lot deeper bend, okay? When we come forward, belly's lifted and supporting that lower back as you extend that lower back. Let's do it. Now, everybody, when we come to this crouch and we incorporate that chest stretch, we'll add one more to the repetitions, okay? So let's do it. Hands to the hips, feet shoulder width, shoulders back and down, chin lifted. Pick one heel up, one knee forward, and switch. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. That's the way. So shift your weight, knee posture, check it. Heel toe and shift, heel toe. Land shoulder width, crouch with me, like an umpire would stand. Push through the heels, Squeeze your glutes. Why not? 4 ponies. Yeah, and 3, and 2, each at a time, and 1. Good. Shift your weight to the left foot, heel toe, right side, left side. So you got flexion, extension. Switch, knee bend. Good. Get that ankle to cooperate. Now we have 2 here. Once, pull the elbows wide, crouch. Now right here, pull your belly up. Hold that lift in the belly as you rise. Good. 4 ponies. And 3. Shoulders are soft. 2. And 1. Come down. Switch sides. Heel toe. Switch. Heel toe. Good. Stabilize. Come here. Bend the knees. Open the heart. Now we have 3 of these here. Okay, this is your halfway mark, so be honest with yourself. Check in with your belly, check in with your lower back, check in with your knees. How we doing? All right, left side lead, pony. And 3. So shoelaces push forward strongly. We have 4 of these. Good. Now we shift to the right foot, heel toe. And switch, heel toe. Little coordination, little proprioception. Can't see your foot behind you. We have 4. Bend the knees, collarbones forward, belly lifts, chin lifts. Now notice my chin position. When I'm at the bottom of the move here, it's above my collarbone. And when I'm standing tall, it's above my collarbone. 3, here comes rep 4. That's the way. Good job, guys. 4 ponies. Maybe now you notice that warming sensation throughout the lower back. That's a heel toe. Balance component, single leg stance, switching. Good. We have 5 crouches with a chest stretch. A little crouch. Push through the heels. Use your legs to lift. How many times did we hear, use your legs to lift? How do you lift a laundry basket? Right here. Imagine you have a laundry basket. Use your legs to lift. 3. Breathing. Control. That's the way. 4. Come on. Here's rep 5. 4 ponies. Active recovery. Breathe here. Kneecap forward. 2. And 1. Good. Heel toe, left side. Pull the toes up strongly. Dorsiflexion. There you go. Good. Come on down. We have 6. You with me? Breathe. Elbows pull wide. Now lift your belly as you lower. Bend the knees. Smile. It's okay. Second round. 4 to go, kids. Listen, check in with yourself and be honest with yourself. Is it becoming uncomfortable? That's the way. You can pause and you can sit out a rep at any moment. Just pass. Just pass. If you're with me, it's 5, and we've got 6 right here. Bending, lifting. Well done. Yeah. All right, checking in once again. Everybody, if you have water, please grab some. Never be afraid to hydrate throughout if you need. You don't have to wait for me to suggest water or to take a sip of water. I want to do a small component, cardio-based. Okay, it is an exercise program. So let's exercise. Now that your body's prepped, your muscles, your joints are prepped, your mindset hopefully is prepped, and your lymphatic system is prepped. So let's move along. Today, we're going to have 8 marches on the spot, okay? And then we have a half step jack modification. No impact allowed in this program. So the marching on the spot, as we know, is a basic walking gait. You can do marching man arms if you like. I encourage you to not bang your feet. Quite often when we come into a march, it becomes a militant mindset and we get aggressive. We don't like that impact. And I want you to imagine the sole of your foot like the base of a brick. Find all 4 corners. So when we do march, you land solid on 4 corners, okay? We want to avoid rolling out, misstepping, okay? And resulting in injury. We want to always prevent that. And then we have the half jack. Here we go. I'll preview the correct form. It's a tap out to the side and the arm overhead. I suggest a bent elbow because we want to encourage that elbow pump, okay? Now, if your shoulders have had enough, or maybe maybe you just are feeling so winded that taking the arm overhead is too much. There's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly fine. You can modify it with the arm shoulder level. Looks like this. I really just want to encourage that elbow pump, okay? So again, imagine my skeletal system, what's happening with the groin, with the step out, what's happening in my shoulder socket, what's happening with my elbow crease, the elbow bend, flexion, extension, good job. Now, one side of the body will be moving, one side of the body will be stabilizing, working just as hard. 8 marches, 1 step jack, 8 marches, 1 step jack, 8 marches, 2 jacks, 8 marches, 2 jacks. We'll go through to 4, okay? We'll go through to 4, and I'll check in at 4. If we're cool and groovy, and you're feeling okay with it, we will go to 5. Trust yourself, okay? Trust me. And if you're not feeling cool and groovy, you sit out rep 5. Don't worry about it. You just step, tap, till you catch your breath or till you become less winded, okay? Safety's key. Let's do this, everybody. Come on up. All right, 8 marches. 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4. Standing tall, chin is up. Right side, half jack. Left march, and 7, and 6, and 5. Check out your hands, relax your fingers. Left side. Good, right side. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Check out your shoulders. 6, 7, 2 jacks. Once, and twice. Left side, 8, and 7, and 6. Now we want the collarbones directly over the belly button. 3, 2, 1, 2 jacks. Once, twice. 8 marches, 8, and 7, and 6, and 5. Belly's lifted, chin is lifted. Smile is on. Maybe you're here for this round. It's okay, we have 3. Left side, 8 marches, and 3 half jacks on the left. 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. And if you're with me, and you can go there, full arm, some of you ladies and gentlemen, good. And 7, and 6, your 4th and last round. All right, here we go. 4, 3, hands are relaxed, get the elbow bend. 8 marches, and 7, and 6, and 5. Feet stay shoulder width. 2, 1, give me 4 on this side. 4, 3, 2, the tap is light, and 1. Good job. This sensation of breathless, breathy is our max, okay? All right, everybody, let's do a reverse set so we cool down and unwind, okay? So let's simple step tap right here. Step tap, 6, and 5, and 4, breathe. And be really good at breathing, please. 2, chin is lifted, and 1. Now let's take our heels to the front, alternate. 6, roll your fingertips, 5, and 4. Now this is not a move you see in everyday classes. 3, 2, and 1. Good, now we're going backwards, so 5 step taps, 5. Remember what I said about knee position on the side movement. Right, body weight heels, 2, and the tap is light, and 1, to the front, heels, 5, and 4, move slower. We're unwinding, 2, and 1. All right, we're at rep 4 and 4 here, and 3, and 2, the tap is light, and 1, you got it, to the front, ready, 4, breathe here, and 3. We don't want to take our arms too high over our heart. We're trying to slow it down, but we need to get that finger movement, okay? 3 here, and 2. Now look at my shoulders, staying level. That means hopefully my hips are level. That's kind of the plan, kids. Hip bone is connected. Yeah, to the knee bone. So knee position, 2 here, and 1. To the front, 2, pick a side, and 1. All right, 1 and 1, ready? 1, and done. To the front, 1, and done. Hydrate, please, if you have water. You have a sports drink, nothing too sugary, please. That's the way. Check in. Questions, anybody? Okay, I'd like to, we have about 10 minutes left in the session. I want to do a stretching segment, a little bit more of a breath segment to finish. So any kind of fluid that we did encourage a new path, or any kind of flow that we did encourage back through the midsection, through the torso. Let's disperse it once again. So as you move throughout your day, we can encourage and have that single path flow. All right, so we'll start at the bottom. Let's roll our ankles now. Maybe earlier you noticed how tight you may have felt in your hips. Maybe now you notice, oh, it's not so tight anymore. I'm doing 4, let's do 5. Yeah, and switching weight. Show the ankles some love. Yeah. All right, you guys, let's do it again each side. I have a chat here. I can check in. Right ankle roll. Remember, the toe does not land. Yes, I believe the library, the question was, will we be sent a copy of the class each week? I believe the answer to that is yes. From what I understand, it will also be posted on the East Hampton Library YouTube channel. Yeah. Now let's come into a crouch technique, everybody, but not as a strength training. So soften your shoulders, bend the knees, but I'd like you to open the knees so we get the hamstring to stretch. But we're going to push our butts back, pull your collarbone forward, but do not lock out the knee joints. Keep the knees slightly bent. Good. Everybody, body weight heel, slowly roll your body up, gently come on out. That's the way. Hands to the hips, body weight one foot, opposite foot to the front, toe up. Now check out that knee position here. It's key. Pull the toe stronger. And if you want more, all you have to do is tip your chest forward. Feel that stretch down the entire back of your leg. Check your shoulders, they should be soft. Check your chin, it should be lift. Upper body's loose here. Switching weight, body weight heel, knee posture, knee position. Yeah. Bend at the waist. Big stretch for the entire back of that leg. The stronger the stretch is how you pull your toe up. If you pull it up gently, gentle stretch. You pull it up strongly, strong stretch. All right, let's stand tall, everybody. Shoulder roll, bend elbow, up, back, and down. Let's do 4 or 5 of them. That's it. Let's breathe here. Inhaling and exhaling. Now, this is a great time to check in with your breath. Remember earlier in class when we started, after the warm-up, I said, remember this sensation? Are we back to that place yet? Let's take the wrists overhead and just roll them, but not higher than the brain, okay? Yes. All right, everybody, deep belly breath to finish. If you feel comfortable, 2 hands to the belly or 1 hand each place, okay? Upper respiratory, lower respiratory. I want to inhale and push the belly into the bottom hand. And the top hand, if it's on your chest, we want to remember to keep it still. Breathing in deeply, exhaling. And give that exhale some love. Pay attention to that exhale. Notice how the body, like a big sigh. Your body's saying thank you. And I'm saying thank you. If anybody needs more time or still feels that they are still breathy, more breathy, then relaxed, let me know. Other than that, I want to thank you for joining me today. I want to thank you for playing along. And again, Southampton StonyBrook Hospital, thank you so much for this program. East Hampton Library, thank you so much for hosting us. If there's any questions, we have a moment or two. You can feel free. Let me see what we have here now. There is somebody. Oh, that's from the last. That's from Diane. Yeah, actually, I think the library is going to forward all these. It's the same link to join us every Friday. We have 6 weeks here. We're in our 2nd week. As you noticed, if you were with me last week, I change it every week. I don't, I like to mix it up. I like to mix it up, hit the body a different way, target the body a different way. All right, let me see what else is here before we go. We have a moment or two. Thank you, Abigail. Thank you, Diane. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. There is Allison, if there is another PDF, I don't know if you have it, that has the hospital's contact info and phone number. This Fit and Strong program is also available for free through StonyBrook Southampton Hospital, through their wellness department. So you can contact them Tuesdays and Thursdays. We do it at 1 o'clock.